Konko Talk, Konko Talk, Konko Talk. Aloha everyone, thank you very much for listening to this program. Konko Talk is a program where people in the Konko phase talk about various topics. The thoughts and opinions we share on this program may differ from yours, but we hope that you will enjoy and learn something new. Perhaps we will learn something new that may affect our thought, behaviors, and action for the better. Our different backgrounds, religions, thought, and culture provide the diversity that strengthens our community. Just like a biodiversity is essential for a healthy planet Earth. I am Koichi Konko from the Konko Mission of Honolulu. Joining me are Amy and Edna. How are you doing today?
Hello!
Hello, thank you very much. So recently, Konko Kyo commemorated 140th anniversary of Konko Daijin, a founder's passing, Ikigami Konko Daijin Grand Service in Japan headquarters and its church. And at the headquarters, October 1st, 8th, and 10th at the Grand Service Hall in Konko Town. The founder passed away on October 10th, 1883, 140 years ago. So every year in autumn, Konko Kyo holds autumn grand service for Ikigami Konko Daijin since he passed away on October 10th. And interesting, I found, in the Konko Kyo, we commemorate anniversary. We say founder's anniversary means since he passed away like 140 years. We Konko Kyo focus on passing year, memorial anniversary, rather than birthday. The Konko Kyo, we don't have official founder's birthday service. Some churches hold a birthday anniversary service or birthday service, but we focus on memorial anniversary for founder. I think that's interesting. Do you know why?
You know what? I didn't notice that, because when I was in Japan and I lived in Gohonbu for a few months, they did celebrate Kyoso Seitansai, which means the founder's birthday, but it wasn't so grand, It wasn't like they gathered in the grand ceremonial hall and thousands of people gathered for that. But you're right how we celebrate more of the founder's passing in this manner. And I think it's because it's a spiritual transition as our eternal Toritsugi mediator. So it marks a very important point in the Konko Kyo history.
Yeah, interesting. I always kind of wondered that. Why, well, not always, that's a lie. More recently, why we put such an importance on his death rather than his birth. But maybe at the point of his death, it was for Konko Kyo a more pivotal event, maybe a more important event in Konko Kyo history. I feel like after his death is when maybe his teachings and everything spread more. People realize the importance of having to carry on his teachings and things like that. Maybe would be my layman's take on it.
I wonder if more and more people, more like a whole ton of more people began to receive more divine blessings like after he passed away. Because, Konko Daijin, he made this promise where he said, when I am gone, and he becomes a Mitama spirit, he will go wherever he is requested. So therefore, when his physical form was kind of like a hindrance. So only people who could actually go and see him can receive a lot of divine favor by Toritsugi mediation. But once his physical form disappears, now he can go where he's asked. And even if like 100 or 10,000 people are asking for Konko Daijin's assistance or help, at the same time, he can still help out all those people. And yeah, I really wonder if more people start to receive okage or blessings after he passed away.
Right. One of the interesting experience for Reverend Masataro Yasutake, founding minister of Magi Church in Kyushu, Fukuoka, Japan. He never met founder, but founder's 10 years memorial anniversary, he first time attended the Konko town and attended the service. And so many people came for the service. He wondered if the founder was successful business person, maybe many people come for his funeral. I'm not sure many people like this come for the person's 10 years memorial service because the founder accumulated so much virtue and it helped so many people. So that's why something we cannot see, but he had he acquired those virtues. So that's why people want to come attend this 10 years memorial service. So that's very important. That's something like that he thought. So that's, I think, is a unique perspective to me, how important to see that fact. The founder, even the founder passed away, so many people wanted to attend the service. I think I read something officially Konko Kyo want to focus on Konko Sama's memorial anniversary because he was born as an ordinary farmer. Some religion founder was born very special from beginning when he or she was born very special. But Konko dies in the founder was just ordinary farmer when he was born and originally actually poor farmer. But he adopted the Kawate family from a Kandori family, moved to nearby village for adoption, and he raised by the adoptive parents. I think he was happy, but he also, after he took over the family head at 23, and because his father, adopted father, passed away, and his younger brother, adopted father's the real biological child, passed away, and since then he worked so hard and became a successful farmer, but he also experienced the difficulties like losing family members, 7 family members, including his cows, 2 cows, in 15 years, I believe. And he also got sick at 42 years old. He almost died, but he met Kami-sama, divine parent, and developed his faith through many experiences. And he became not founder, we died. Konko Daijin was born as an ordinary farmer, but he practiced faith and became a very important person who Kami-sama trusted him, and he was able to save so many people through sharing his experience, teachings, and he passed away. So not like some religious founder of religions were born from a very special from the beginning. But Konko Kyo founder, Konko Daiji, was only farmer just like us. He is not special person, one of the kind. He is a one of the kind, but he is not the only one. But we practice faith and we can become like him, who Kami-sama trusted and save people. So I think that's why Konko Kyo want to focus on memorial anniversary rather than birthday, because he was not special when he was born. So founding minister of Amagi Church, Reverend Masataro Yasutake, shared the story, his experience. He never met Konko Daijin, a founder, but he attended founder's 10th year memorial service and at the Go Home headquarters from Kyushu. The Amagi is located in Kyushu, Fukuoka, but he used to live in Kokura area and attend the Kokura church. And founding minister of Kokura, Reverend Katsura, and he and maybe a couple of people, or some people, went to Gohonbu. And first time he attended the service in headquarters, Konko Town, for 10 years memorial service. And he was so surprised because so many people came for the service. And he thought the founder was a very special person. But what if he was just a successful businessman? Maybe so many people come to show respect to him for his funeral. So many people come to his funeral. But I don't think so many people like this come to the 10 years memorial service. He thought because the founder will develop his faith and also accumulate virtue through his life. So that's why so many people want to see him, want to attend his 10 years memorial service. So that's very significant for him. He realized something we cannot see but very important to acquire virtue that comes from our trust. In other words, so to develop our faith, we can be like him. It's important to receive comes from our trust like him. So that's why Konko Kyo want to, I believe, naturally focus on the memorial service rather than birthday celebration. I also found something interesting because Japan used a kazoe-doshi. You know kazoe-doshi? When you welcome the New Year's Day, you became 1 year older. Not birthday, but New Year's Day. Almost like everybody's birthday is New Year's Day. So interesting that if you were born on December 31st, there's no 0 year, always 1 year old. When you're born, you are 1 year old. And if December 31st, the next day, January 1st. So you are actually 2 days old, but they counted 2 years old. So there was no birthday. That's why we cannot have a birthday party, birthday celebration. So founder time too, there's no birthday for him. His birthday. There's no his birthday. According to the internet I researched, 1902, the Japan introduced the way like now. When your birthday comes, you become 1 year older. And they introduced that idea. But actually, people didn't care. They continue to use the kazoe-dashi. The birthday is January 1st. So Japan government forced to spread this idea. Again, 1950, they enforce the law that when your birthday comes, you become 1 year older, not January 1st. So only less than 100 years, 1950.
Wow.
So my grandparents' generation, they didn't have a birthday party, I guess, birthday celebration.
Oh, so birthday celebration is like a Western concept.
Yes.
Interesting. So why did they start though?
I think because when Japan want to be like Western countries, because Western country look down the Asian countries, we're better than them. So Japan try to catch with them, so try to accept the culture, so that the Western culture with Western countries, Japan is the same level country with Western culture, with Western countries. Mm-hmm. They try to accept many cultures. They stop the Japanese culture.
I would think it'd be hard to keep track of your people too, if you didn't know exactly how old they were.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So Kyoto-sama knew when he was born, right? His exact birthday. Wow.
Yes. There are also lunar calendar and the solar calendar, yeah? They changed the lunar calendar to solar calendar when he was alive.
Oh, I didn't know that. I learned something new today.
Yes, I actually happen to know this fact today. So that was interesting. So that's why Konko Kyo didn't have, of course, a founder's birthday celebration, because there's no such custom.
Oh,
So maybe in the future, we might have, founders' birthday celebration services. Maybe. Mm-hmm. But Edna, you went to Japan this time. Do you have any interesting experience in Konko Town?
Yeah, I'm really happy that I even got to go to Gohonbu, the headquarters, because I didn't request vacation beforehand, and I didn't think I was gonna go 1 year before. 1 year before, I wasn't even thinking of attending this 140th anniversary. But then the Konko missions in Hawaii was saying, oh, they want to go as a group. So then I was like, oh man, I want to go to Japan now. And we already went to Japan with my husband and his 2 karate students back in June of this year. Just a few months later, going back to Japan in October, I wasn't really thinking too much about it. Mm-hmm. But then the more I began to think about it, I was like, oh man, I really want to go. And the prices for the plane tickets are extremely high, actually. They're like 1,500 round trip per person. Ooh. And even on Zip Air, I wanted to ride Zip Air because it was cheaper, but the dates wouldn't match up with the dates that my husband could get off from work. But one day, my husband was like, did you buy the tickets to Japan yet? And I was like, no. And he's like, you better hurry. It's gonna get more expensive than it already is. So I looked in my email, and right there, Google Travel? I made it so it'll send me notifications if the plane the plane fare happens to drop. And that morning when I looked at my email, it had dropped. significantly to like $700 per person round trip. And I was like, this is the chance. This is my chance to buy the tickets right now. And I did. Right then and there, I bought the tickets. And from the very next day, it went back up to $1,500. And no, the cheapest it would get back down to was like $800, $900. So, Tony, I really believe that this was all like a divine arrangement from Kami-sama. It's like I had that strong desire to want to go to attend the 140th. So Kami-sama will accommodate for me. And because Clayton, my husband, wanted to also go with me, Kami-sama seems to have made things go smoothly in that aspect, in every aspect. And so we were able to go. It was a really safe and fun trip. Pretty short and sweet. 5.5, 6 days. But when we got to Gohonbu, the headquarters, I thought this was really interesting. Koichi Sensei, you mentioned that Reverend Kyoji Konko, who can speak English, is sitting at the Okekkai Toitsugi mediation desk until 10 o'clock a.m. on that day. And there was only like 10 minutes more until he he descends from his seat. So I was like, oh, I better get up there right now. So I get the chance to do otodoke with him in English. And more than me, it was my husband Clayton that wanted to do it. It was interesting because he wanted to pray so hard for one of his coworkers. The coworker's boyfriend wasn't doing very good. He had a really bad health emergency going on. So he needed desperate prayers. So Clayton really, really wanted to do Toitsugi mediation with Kyoji Sensei in English. But the thing was, there was only 10 more minutes on the clock, and there were about 10 or 12 people in front of us. And then the person that was talking to Kyoji Sensei at that time, I don't want to say it, but the otodoke was quite lengthy. And I totally don't mind because, he has to do his own otodoke. And I don't mind. I'm just grateful that I am there. But Clayton was kind of worrying. He's like, oh no, there's only 10 more minutes and I don't think we're going to be able to talk with him. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter because whoever sits at that Toitsugi mediation desk is the pipeline between us and Kami-sama. So it doesn't matter if Kyoji Sensei is sitting there or not. Whoever's sitting there, perfectly fine to do Toitsugi mediation and you will receive divine blessings. So I said, don't worry. If he happens to descend before our turn, then that's fine. It's totally fine. And then, but I could tell Clayton was really desperate to want to speak to Kyoji Sensei in English. So I did my prayer. I said, so I pray that the people in front of me, the 10 to 12 people that are still ahead of me, pray that their mediation goes smoothly with Konko-sama, and Kyoji Sensei. They can all receive blessings. And it's so strange. Like as soon as I prayed, then the mediation became faster. And it's like after that person left, the next person, it was like almost just like less than a minute per person that went to see Konko-sama, Kyoji Sensei. And it was like really like 1.5 more minutes until 10 o'clock. And I was like, and Clayton was like, but then he was still sitting there and we were able to mediate to Kyoji Sensei. And I handed the osonai, the offering to Clayton for him to hand to Kyoji Konko-sama. And he was able to mediate the desperate prayer in English. So, hontoni, I didn't want to take up much time because I know the people in the back of us also really wanted to speak with Konko-sama too, Kyoji Sensei. So, we kept it straightforward, quick, fast. But Kyoji Sensei was so happy to see us and he spoke in English and Clayton was very, very happy. And we gave our thanks and we were able to have our otodoke session with Kyoji Sensei. So I thought that was a miracle. It was a great okage.
I see.
Yeah.
Although the listeners maybe they don't know about Konko-sama and they don't know about Toritsugi, it is one of the unique, I think, the Konko Kyo is Konko-sama. Konko-sama is spiritual leader at top of the Konko Kyo, but anybody can see him without any appointments. As long as you go to headquarters while Konko-sama sitting there. But Konko-sama sometimes go back. Konko-sama sitting Okekkai Toitsugi meditation desk from 5. Morning prayer session started at 4. But Toitsugi is open around 5-ish. and until 3:20. But sometimes Konko-sama go back to home to eat breakfast, lunch, and sometimes take a rest. So the other sensei, like Reverend Kyoji, who can speak English, sitting Okekai. Reverend Kyoji is a younger brother of Konko-sama, or sometimes the other Konko sensei sitting Okekai in place of Konko-sama. Interesting, we went to see Konko-sama. I took church members who speak only English, and the first time to visit Konko town, and they had teaching medicine with Konko-sama, and I recommend to see Reverend Kyoji too. But we went to see Konko-sama have teaching mediation. I thought, I can interpret it for you, but they talk to Konko-sama in person directly. And but they have a hard time to say because they say nervous, but they just greeting. But seems like Konko-sama understood what they say, so almost like I was meaningless with them. Like they don't need me, kind of feeling I had. So that's I think Toritsugi, that whoever sitting there, you think Konko-sama receive your request, your thought, and then convey to Kami-sama. Amy, have you ever talked to Konko-sama in person while you live in Konko town before, years ago?
Interestingly enough, I don't think I ever did otodoke with Konko-sama. Every time I went, he wasn't at the Okekai. I think I remember distinctly. Actually, I don't know. I must have spoken to him.
In English or Japanese?
Like once or twice. I think I did in English.
Because at the time, the first Konko-sama was there, yeah?
Right. And he can speak English.
He can speak English.
Yeah. I think I must have done maybe once or twice. I don't really remember. The only time I remember, it's an interesting feeling when you go to that the main worship hall. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of power in that room. And I remember distinctly when I was in my third year of teaching at Konko Gakuen, and I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to stay or if I wanted to come back to Hawaii. And I couldn't decide on my own. And so I went to the Hiromae and the main worship hall, and I thought I was going to do otodoke and get an answer, but I prayed first, and I sat there and got really emotional. Like I just sat there and I bawled, and I was crying really heavily, I remember, and I think people thought I was crazy. I think the senseis that were there thought were probably worried, is she okay or whatever. But I remember not having the courage to go up to the okekai and do otodoke. He might. I don't remember if Konko-sama was sitting there or if it was another sensei. So I can understand when people say that they get nervous going up to the okekai. I didn't have the courage. I couldn't bring myself to go to the okekai and get a real answer. So I ended up going home. I left. I prayed on my own, and then I left. And I walked home. And I think I made a decision, actually, when I got home. I clearly heard a voice saying, "It's okay. You can go home." And it was something reminded me that my nephews and niece back home here were growing up fast, and I was missing a lot of it. So that solidified my decision to come back home to Hawaii.
I see.
So even if I didn't make it to, I feel like even if I didn't make it to the okekai, to do otodoke, I was able to get an answer just by asking in prayer. And I don't know if it would have been as much of an impact if I wasn't praying at the main worship hall, but my answer actually came outside of the worship hall. So I guess it didn't matter where I prayed, but you definitely can feel the power when you're at the main worship hall, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Amy used to work at Konko Gakuen in Konko town. Konko Gakuen was established by Reverend Norio Sato. He was one of the famous disciples of Konko Daijin, and that school was established. And later on, there are two separate. One became school and one became seminary. So Konko Gakuen was a school separate from Konko Kyo, but still not under Konko Kyo, but a very strong relationship with Konko Kyo. So many Konko Kyo ministers working for Konko Kyo as teachers. The principal is the Konko Kyo minister.
Oh, yeah, yes. No, but don't they teach like Konko Kyo concepts in Konko Gakuen, the Konko school?
Yes.
I think they have this motto. It says, what? 人を大切に、人を大切に、自分を大切に、物を大切に, right? Is that the correct order? To take good care of others, yourself, and things.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if the order is correct. But anyways, those three elements, I do remember that Konko Gakuen teaches too. It's like the motto, which is really Konko too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Amy is very correct about power. Gohonbu is definitely a place that I encourage everyone to go at least once in your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you consider yourself a member or like a believer of Konko. It's a place where you have to experience yourself. The energy that you will feel when you go to the headquarters. Even if it's not a service day with thousands of people, those really quiet, peaceful days where you're like the only one there, you get all that energy to yourself. So you can consider yourself very lucky to be there. Every time I go to Gohonbu, I feel re-energized. And that's really my happy place. Place where I would like to go once a year, at least once a year in my life. Every year. I want to go there every year to give appreciation. But yeah, when we do Otodoke Toitsugi mediation, oftentimes the sensei will not give you the answers. You know, like if you have to make a decision and you're like, which one should I choose, sensei? And the sensei usually will not tell you which to choose, but sometimes occasionally they do. But main thing is they want to mediate your request to Kami-sama so Kami-sama can process, and hopefully you will develop that answer within your own heart, because that answer is there, but it just has to be processed by Kami-sama, so it will just come out and you will know from your heart which to decide. And that's the power of mediation.
Yeah, I always recommend to see Konko-sama. Is we should take advantage that anybody can see Konko-sama in person. We can talk to Konko-sama. We can say anything. We can ask anything. We can say anything. So I think that's very good experience for us. Of course, sometimes I am so nervous. What should I say? If I say this, I get scolded or not, something like that. But it's good to do otodoke. If you go home, you should go to Okekai, see Konko-sama, or whoever sitting over there. I could say, if you go to sushi restaurant, you eat sushi, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't go Okekai, if you go headquarters, almost like you go to sushi shop, but you don't eat sushi. But I'd like to share one of the church members' experience. From Honolulu Church, 3 members attended the 140th anniversary memorial anniversary Konko Daijin's passing, Igami Konko Daijin Grand Service. And she's from Japan. I mean, she lives in Honolulu, but originally from Japan. And she didn't have time to see her sisters. So this time, I go to Japan, so I like to see my sisters. So they plan to meet at Gohonbu headquarters. So she has older sister and younger sister. They met at the Gohonbu. There's a basement or half basement, like kyukeisho, or what can I say? You can eat or you can relax under the worship hall. So they meet over there. My younger sister said, I'm go home. I like to go home already. Because she felt kind of sick, sore throat. And she said her daughter got COVID. recently, and she felt she had a symptom. So I might get the COVID too. So I like to go home already. But the member from Honolulu was so surprised because the plans way before. She really looking forward to see sisters, have a good time, like one day trip with them after the service. So she said, take Goshinmai. So she had a Goshinmai, so she gave Goshinmai to her. And the sister, younger sister, feel better. That sore throat maybe better now. So they went up there, the worship hall, the headquarters worship hall, and the time the Konko-sama was there, right? The Konko-sama, the Toritsugi mediation, and had Toritsugi and explain what happened. And Konko-sama said, "Don't worry, good, you'll be all right." And since then, she left and went to the gravesite, found the gravesite, and they went to lunch. And her sister ate champong. Do you know champong? Ramen with so many vegetables and seafood. And after that, her sister became better, much better. Almost like I forgot she complained about her symptom. And she really enjoyed, they really enjoyed the Kurashiki tour near the Konko town headquarters located. Is a Kurashiki, the very famous sightseeing place. And they enjoy visiting there, and they stayed at Ivy Square Hotel in the Kurashiki. So really enjoy that. And then she said she looked back at the experience. Usually, your daughter got COVID and you have a symptom. Of course, I should go home already. I don't want to spread my germ to my sisters. But they pray and receive Goshima sacred rice and partake and feel better and went to Toritsugi, and they convey their concern and also their request. They really want to enjoy Three Sisters. They are like a 70s. Yep. So they don't want to miss this opportunity. So they pray and convey their request. And the Konko-sama said, no problem, you'll be all right. And then they ate champon and they feel better. So she said that was really okage, the blessing. Very special blessing. Because we have faith. We receive Goshinmai and partake Goshinmai. And they have Toritsugi mediation. And they say, okay, good. They are able to enjoy special quality time, three of them. And they'll go home happily. But if they could follow the common sense, I could say, well, maybe we don't have faith. Probably the younger sister went home and we're not happy, we're disappointed. Maybe to my sister, the younger sister, older sister and I could go sightseeing, but it's not enough, yeah? She was very happy that she had faith and she received this kind of blessing. And it's a big difference between she has faith or she didn't have faith, or that they didn't have faith. The experience. I think that's a very special blessing for them, because this is a special opportunity for them. She lives in Honolulu. She cannot go to Japan too often, and her sisters too. They live in Tokyo and maybe Osaka, different places. So this is a rare opportunity to get together. Three sisters. They have a family too, right? Usually they travel with family, but they come their own, so they enjoy. It's a very quality time. They really enjoy quality time. I like to share the teaching, founder teaching. Whether or not you can receive divine blessing depends on your heart. If you renew your heart, then you can reap infinite divine blessings. Whether or not you can receive divine blessing depend on your heart. If you renew your heart, then you can reap infinite divine blessings. I think they are able to receive. They are ready to receive blessing because they are able to turn their heart toward Kami-sama through Goshinmai, through Toritsugi mediation. So they are ready to receive blessings. If they are not ready, even though Kami-sama or Divine Parent want to save them, maybe they couldn't. So it's a good experience. Whenever we go to headquarters, we kind of forced to feel Kami-sama because at the headquarters, special atmosphere, the power we can feel. So we can turn our heart toward Kami-sama. So we can be the person who ready to receive blessing. So I recommend people, it's it's good to go to Gohombo headquarters and be there and receive Torichigi mediation from Konko-sama in person.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. There was a sensei that mentioned that people who live far away from Gohombo, the headquarters, like overseas people, and they can only go there maybe once a year or less than that. He said that the amount of sincerity they're putting into that visit, that pilgrimage to the headquarters, is equivalent to somebody who lives only minutes away from the headquarters and goes to worship every single day. I was like, oh, no, I never thought about that. And he said, yeah, considering the planning, transportation fees, riding the trains to get there, preparing everything necessary to make your pilgrimage to Gohombo, you're concentrating so much energy into that pilgrimage that it's equivalent to somebody who goes to worship every day. I was like, wow. I highly recommend everybody to go pilgrimage to Gohombo at least once in your life, and you'll see what we mean by you'll feel the energy. It's hard to explain. You have to go there in person to feel it.
I didn't feel nothing when living in Konko Town. Actually, I raised in Konko Town. Really, it's so ordinary day that every morning I used to go to headquarters, worship hall, and say hello to Konko-sama every morning when I was like elementary school students and play in the headquarters property. We play soccer, we ride a bike, we play with a radio control car. When rain, there's a roof, so we play that area. Even though there are many people, sometimes, like an anniversary or whatever, they have a grand service, we play. Sometimes I get scolded. What are you doing here? I play with soccer ball while the people attending the grand service and get scolded. But once, move away, I live in Honolulu, it's a big difference. It's looking forward to visit Konko Town. It's unique. I used to say I go to Japan. I try not to, even though I raised in Konko Town and my mother live in Konko Town, my family live in Konko Town, I try to avoid using I'm home kind of word. I come back to Konko Town, but I go to Japan, I go to Konko Town because I feel I want to be the person who live in Honolulu, reside in Honolulu, and Hone o Uzumeru. Can I say Hone o Uzumeru? Try to be a local person, but I cannot do that. I'm from Japan. I cannot be a local born person here. And one sensei said he wasn't raised in Konko-tan, but he said, I'm home to Konko-sama. I come back. And why? Because you're not local here. You're not born here. You didn't grow up here. But because the founder was raised here and struggled and met Kami-sama and devout faith, saved so many people and die. This is the town, the roots of Konko Kyo. So because of Konko Kyo, Konko-sama, I'm alive here. So this is, I think, special place. That's why, this is my guess, yeah. That's why he want to say, I'm home here. So, okay, I should feel the same feeling. I can say I'm home. I come back. Literally, I come back, but, I want to say I come back rather than I visit.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a spiritual home then, yeah? Spiritual home.
Yeah. I remember living there, and I did not go to Hombu every single day to pray, but I think I took for granted that Hombu was so close.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally on the other side of I lived on the other side of the train station, opposite side of the train station. I really took for granted the fact that I was so close. I should have made more of an effort to go every day. I've never even done the what is the odemashi? Never bothered waking up at 4 in the morning to go, even though I'm right there. That's one of the things I regret. Maybe I didn't take full advantage of being so close to Gohombu for 3 years.
Yeah, odemashi is the one Konko-sama come from his home to worship hall. Konko-sama live nearby, but he walk. And he attend the 4 morning prayer session start at 4. So usually every single day he comes 3:45 now. So we welcome or see Konko-sama's odemashi going to the worship hall. He is so sincere while he walking every morning, even though rain, even snow, even nobody there. Konko-sama go to worship hall and they pray for world peace and human salvation and for individual request. So that's interesting. Sometimes we drunk and even the late night, the morning, and the already 3 o'clock. Let's go and let's see odemashi.
Well, you know how you mentioned, Koichi Sensei, that you didn't really feel any power when you were living there. I think it's like people who live in like these gorgeous mansions or like humongous property and big yards and stuff like that, where it's so regular for them that it's nothing special. But people who don't have that, and you go there and you're like, oh my gosh, this place has a pool, has a penthouse, amazing place, wow! And then you look at the walls and the art and everything, and you can just appreciate just being in that house and marveling at everything. So it's kind of like that, where if you don't have the opportunity to be there every day, and being at Gohonpu is so special just for a visit. Just being there, it feels so special.
I think already I feel special every day, so used to. Maybe that's why I don't remember how special it was every day.
Right. That's
Even
usually
the-
how it is. Yeah. You don't realize how special something is or a place is or how lucky you were until you don't have it.
Right.
You can't go every day if you wanted to go do otoroke with Konko-sama. You can't readily just go and come home from a drunken night and decide to go to see Demashi. You can't do it. That's just kind of, I think that's human nature. It's something that's kind of sad, but a lot of people make that mistake where you don't appreciate something until it's gone. And try not to do that, but that's hard.
I think as long as we can feel Konko-sama right there or worship hall right there, I feel comfortable, I guess. Even though we don't go, maybe we don't see. I think even the not Konkokyo believers, it's the existence Konko worship hall and also Konko-sama. I think that's very meaningful. Sometimes they notice that. They told me that too. But thank you very much. We cover a lot today. I enjoy myself very much, but it's time to end. I hope you enjoyed today's talk too. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode today. We truly appreciate your time and the support. And we hope you enjoy our conversation as much as we did. Remember to subscribe to our podcast, YouTube, so you never miss an episode. And please share it with your friend and family. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for future episodes, feel free to reach out to us via email, konkotalk@gmail.com. Until next time, take care and stay curious. This is Koichi Konko Talk. Thank you very much for joining me, Amy and Edna.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. また会いましょう. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.